What is up, ladies and gents? You know what time of day it is. It's XCN time, and in today's video we're going to be talking about whether you should be buying, holding or selling your XCN. Of course, I do believe there's some very valid points for both sides of the argument. So today we're going to evaluate some of them and I'll be giving you my opinion on what I think is best. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you are a new viewer, then welcome to this channel. If you do like this sort of content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you are a returning viewer, as always, welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you all here. So today, you know what, we're just diving straight into the Onyxcoin chart. No sponsors, no shouts outs. We're just going to get down to the nitty gritty of everything, because right now on Onyxcoin, as you guys can see, it's yet another red day in the markets. Everything is down a lot, and of course on Onyxcoin, this is nothing new, I know, but basically downtrend here is still intact. We have this trend line keeping the prices flowing in a downwards direction here. As you guys can see, this is the long-term trend line that's been in play now since January 26th there, when Onyxcoin made its high at 5 cents. Of course, this trend line has been tested on numerous times as well. Every time the price comes up to test this trend line, basically touch it, it gets rejected and the prices just bounce back away from it. And it's done that on a lot of different occasions. And this is why we consider this quite a lot as well. Of course, if we can break past this trend line, that could be quite bullish here on the markets. But for now, there's nothing indicating that that's going to happen anytime soon. So of course, right now, that's not a bad reason to be just selling your Onyxcoin straight away. There's no sign at the moment that we're seeing a trend reversal. Maybe we get a trend reversal in the future, but if you have a shorter term view here on the market, I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon. So that is the first point I wanted to make. Of course, if you are looking at selling your Onyxcoin, just be aware that we are in a particular zone right now, a zone of support, which is quite a strong one here in Onyxcoin, in my opinion. Of course, as you guys can see, the price has come down to this level as a support and as a resistance. First, we saw in mid-January that the prices really did respect this level as a resistance. The price came up to this zone here on quite a few different occasions before it managed to pump above it. Now, as the prices started heading down, you guys can see that the price has respected this area. First, when we saw that dump, we came to this zone of support and we saw quite a strong bounce from it. Now we've come down here again and we are seeing a short-term support in this area. So if you are looking to sell, I would personally wait at very least until we start to break down below this zone of support, which is close, by the way. It sits at currently 1.34 cents. Because then, of course, if we break down below, the next price target that I would be looking at as a potential support underneath that would be at this 1.1 cents level. So it's quite a bit of a drop there, not that big. But at the end of the day, that's what I might expect to see here on the shorter term. Of course, if you're looking to buy back into Onyxcoin, then these fib levels are also good places to be buying back in. If you sold somewhere near the top, congratulations first and foremost. These are some of the fib levels that if we do continue to go down, might be decent places to pick up some Onyxcoin if you believe in Onyxcoin in the longer term, of course. And of course, if we fall below that 1.1 cents level, which I do believe is going to be quite a strong one since we see some support in this region, then the next fib down there sits at 0.76 cents. So another big drop if we lose that level, of course. So of course, if you are holding your Onyxcoin, just be prepared for a scenario where the prices get down to this level. So of course, I do think there's a decent chance that the prices continue to fall down to these levels. So that is a good point to be selling right now. Of course, another decent point, in my opinion, is that good news here on Onyxcoin is just not having the intended effects. Of course, any bullish announcement that we have had on Onyxcoin throughout February has just not pumped the prices very much at all. Of course, we have that Goliath mainnet going live in 3 days. That's quite a big update for Onyxcoin. They're having a whole new blockchain going live. Of course, with that as well comes quite a few other things. For example, Onyxcoin are now able to burn XCN token with every transaction, making the supply deflationary. That should be pretty bullish news here. But unfortunately, we haven't seen that reflected in the prices. But it's not just an Onyxcoin thing. For example, if I show you guys XRP has had a dump over the past few days as well. This year's been the price action for the week. It's been very bearish, but yet XRP have had some really good news come out yesterday. Basically, they got approval to custody crypto in South Korea for institutions. That means that institutions that want to buy, sell crypto or hold their clients assets, their crypto, can go through XRP and do it with their infrastructure. So that should be very bullish for XRP. That means more XRP is going to go into the hands of institutions in South Korea. And that should have pumped the price here on XRP. But instead, after that news came out, we basically saw the prices continue to dump. So we're not seeing bullish news have the intended effect on the market. So you might be thinking, then what is the point of holding onto Onyxcoin if news is just having a bearish effect on the market anyway? And actually, that's not a bad way to approach it. Unfortunately, this is just the period of time we are in at the moment. That is what happens when the fear and greed index is this bad. Everyone is just more negative than they are positive at the moment, and negative news tends to get more of a spotlight than positive news does. When we start to see greed and extreme greed in the markets, it flips. And then that's when bullish news is often exaggerated into the price as well. And unfortunately, with this Goliath update, we've just unfortunately released in a time when the fear is this low. So of course, if it follows what XRP did with their news announcement as well, then we could reasonably expect the prices to fall after that update. But personally, I'm not so sure of that outcome. Of course, I do potentially see an outcome that's bullish from this announcement, particularly if the team are able to exceed expectations. Now, the expectations set for this announcement have been fairly subdued and low. Of course, they haven't really said much regarding this Goliath update on their Twitter. They've only given a few hints and clues. But basically, imagine now with the update, we get that mainnet released that they were talking about, but we get extra announcements that people were not planning for. Imagine they announced a certain partnership that they were working on. Imagine they announced that they burnt some XCN, or that this amount of XCN is getting burnt over the next month, or this is how much XCN will burn with every transaction, and this is how many transactions we normally do. I think this could surprise the market, and we could potentially see a pump here in XCN. So of course, if we use that XRP example, things are not looking great, but I don't know. I'm definitely up for the idea that we could see a surprise as well. And of course, if we have a look at where the price is right now, it only needs roughly 25% to get back to this resistance here. And of course, once we get to this resistance, and so of course, if we do get a pump from that news announcement, it won't take much, in my opinion, for Onyxcoin to get back above that resistance. Of course, what we need is enough buying pressure and enough momentum to push the prices above it. Of course, I do expect quite a lot of people have probably saved this date, March the 3rd, for the Goliath update, considering the fact that this was announced weeks before the current date. Of course, the XRP one was a flash news event. They've immediately released the news, but this one, we have had time to build some anticipation for that Goliath update on March the 3rd. So this should bring back interest onto Onyxcoin. Whether it's enough to break through this resistance we'll just have to wait and see. But if it does, it could be the start of a new bullish trend here on Onyxcoin. And of course, if you've been holding this long anyway, you might as well and wait to see what happens with the news, of course. And from that point forwards, then you can make your decision on XCN. Of course, there's quite a few other reasons as well why now might be a decent time to be buying up your favorite altcoins. In this case, we're talking about XCN. And one of the first main reasons that I can show you is the total crypto market cap. The total crypto market cap here has its own chart, and basically what we can see from this chart is that it's painted a clear cup and handle pattern. We saw this resistance that connects the high from 2021 there to 2024. We saw this cup formation, this handle formation, which is this sort of downtrend here, and we saw a breakout to the upside from the cup and handle formation. And this has set in motion a massive price target, or a market cap target here, of $10 trillion. So if this target is met from this pattern, we should see a $10 trillion market cap for the peak here in 2025 for this bull run. But right now we've seen a dip, and as you guys can see, we've come back down to the resistance between these two lines, and we've basically retested it as a support. It's almost a perfect retest that you guys can see in this region here. Now we've come back above it a bit, and what we can reasonably expect to see is this market cap bounce from this area. Of course, everything is oversold at the moment. Of course, a lot of things are oversold at the moment, so we should see a relief pump, and this should take the market cap back up here. And of course, throughout 2025, I expect this to reach $10 trillion. Of course, this is invalidated if we fall below that 2.5 trillion area. But for now, we are keeping this as a support. And if everything plays out well, we should see a bounce from this area. Of course, what that means for XCN is that we should start to see some sort of bounce here on XCN as well. We're seeing a low here on the total market cap of crypto. So now is not a bad time to be buying. On top of that as well, Bitcoin dominance is showing us exactly the same thing. Bitcoin dominance is pretty high at the moment. It's at 60%. And this chart is important for us at XCN as well, because if this chart is declining fast or it gets down to roughly the 40% region, then this means we get an altcoin season. And an altcoin season means that altcoins like XCN are going to be outperforming Bitcoin. As you can see, throughout most of 2024 and 2025, we've been in this bullish trend here on the Bitcoin dominance, but we've broken that bullish trend with a breakdown below this support line here. We see a few tests of this support line where I've circled them as resistances. So we saw a successful support resistance flip. And I therefore expect the Bitcoin dominance to follow this green line or something along these lines here, where the Bitcoin dominance starts to fall throughout 2025. And of course, when that happens, we get an altcoin season. And now, in my opinion, that means it's not about time to be buying XCN whatsoever. Of course, my opinion about buying an XCN is more of a longer term one. So if you're looking to hold throughout 2025 and sell at the top in 2025, that recommendation is more for you guys. However, if you guys have a really short term horizon here, like let's say you want to take your funds out at the very latest, like a few weeks or a month later, then maybe now is not the right time to be buying. Rather just hold or sell your Onyxcoin, because this downtrend, we just don't know how long it's going to last for. We don't know if this Goliath update is going to have a bullish effect on the markets, and if it doesn't, then we could see some more pain here on the charts until we start to see something bullish. Just one final thing as well, guys. I want to give you some price targets that I'm potentially looking at if we break out to the upside of this resistance, just so you guys are equipped. The first price target that I'm looking at basically treats this as some sort of triangle. So if we break out to the upside from this current zone that we're in, let's say we're bullish for the next few days, and that Goliath update takes us well above this resistance line here, then I'll be looking at a price target of this distance here on Onyxcoin. That could take the prices as high as 6.1 cents here. I'm also looking at this potential pattern as well. This is a potential falling wedge here on the Onyxcoin chart. If we break out from this pattern, this would give us our first price target there of roughly 4.5 cents. So I'm just watching out for these. If we break out to the upside and we see a large pump here on Onyxcoin, remember they do happen quite fast. For example, here in mid-January, it was absolutely crazy. Then we could see prices get to these targets fairly fast. However, if prices continue to decline here, then I'm also looking at the price target from this triangle that I believe we could be seeing as well. Of course, we've already broken down from this triangle. So if this area of support does not hold, my ultimate target here on Onyxcoin sits at just underneath 0.7 cents as a result from this triangle that we have potentially seen. So just bear this downside in mind, guys. Of course, there is quite a big downside possible, but we do have some areas of support as well. And if you are a long-term holder, like I say, these are good areas to be sweeping up some more Onyxcoin. But for now, my opinion is that you should be selling if you are a shorter term holder. Of course, we are in a downtrend and there's no signs of a reversal just yet. So if you really are short term, my opinion is sell. If you are a longer term holder, then I would be buying up Onyxcoin here in anticipation that prices are going to be much higher at some point in 2025. I've obviously given you some nice price levels that you could be sweeping up some Onyxcoin. So if we don't hold, that's 1.1 cents as the next good place to buy Onyxcoin. Then 0.76 cents if that 1.1 cents level doesn't hold. Of course, if you don't have any more money to buy into Onyxcoin, then just simply hold your Onyxcoin, is my opinion on the matter. So it's been a bit of a mouthful in this video, so I'm going to wrap things up there. Of course, hopefully this video was helpful for you guys in evaluating whether you should buy or sell Onyxcoin. And of course, as always, thank you so much for watching my videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.